It's the moment you've all been waiting for. The hype is here. The 9-win season last season was a thing. I had a little joy. I won $300. Now I'm ready to talk about the Duke Blue Devils and why they might not just be a fluke. Mike Elko could be the real deal. How many starters are they returning, and could they have a season opening upset? We'll talk about it on today's show.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
For those of you who are new to the show, welcome to Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper, joined by Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack, Locked On ACC most times. Thanks for joining us each and every day where you make us your first listen. You download, subscribe to the podcast from anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. You can leave comments there. You can tell us how you really feel. We love to see it. You can leave 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. All the things that make it easy for our lives to continue, right? We're talking today about my favorite football team as of late. I have always been high on them. I am a big Coach Cutcliffe fan and slowly became a big Mike Elko fan as the transition for the Duke Blue Devils became imminent that they were going to be a pretty decent team. And now before you, I made a bet with Kenton Gibbs last season, who was adamant that the Blue Devils wouldn't win more than 6 games. Wrote it in stone that they were going to not win, not be bowl eligible. And yet, not only did they prove him wrong, they won 9 wins, best record since 2014. And they have a very consistent stud in Riley Leonard. Will this season be the same? Talk about it all here with my boy Kenton. What's up?
Listen. Let's just get this show over with, okay? I don't want to spend a lot of time messing around here because I know that you're just going to be taking a victory lap the entire show about how you were right.
We already said we're going double or nothing, so there's that. I know you're real in your feelings about all the money you had to give up. Only reason why I won 300 is because our boy Jersey Drake also bet me 150, and y'all both look silly because I said Duke was a team that was one coach away from being quality. And y'all kept telling me they didn't have no horses, but now they got stallions.
Okay, well, first of all, good job on getting your references a little better there. We have to shout that out because, we haven't always been on the same page. Exactly. We
always ain't been able. Okay.
Exactly. But moving forward, who could have possibly known that all the teams on Duke's schedule were going to be that bad?
That's crazy. So it couldn't be Duke being good. It had to be everyone else being bad.
Let's look at their schedule from last year, shall we?
Do. I want you to get this out.
Northwestern won how many games last year, Ms. Cooper?
3.
1.
Okay.
They won 1. Virginia last year. Who could have seen them being that bad coming? That bad? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anybody.
But Duke was always been able to beat both of those squads. I said that from the beginning. They could have gone 4-0.
Miami. You saw them being that bad last year.
I did not see Miami being that bad. Okay, I get that one.
Pitt. And granted, they lost that game, but still, Pitt was pretty bad. Duke lost. Wake Forest. You're telling me that you saw all those teams all being underwhelming last year. You would have predicted
I didn't think they were going to be
one
bad.
Football game.
Hear me clear. I never thought those teams would be bad. I thought and knew Duke would be better and good.
Again, we all knew that the Atlantic was carrying the water for this conference. But last year, every team in the Coastal that wasn't named Duke or UNC said, get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it.
Why does it pain you to just give Duke credit?
I give Duke their credit.
No, you don't.
I give Leonard his credit. I give Elko his credit. I give that defense their credit. They played out of their minds. They did.
Did they play out of their minds, or did they play to where they've always been? They just needed a good coach to bring it out of them. Help me, somebody.
If you believe that that's the Duke team that we always saw, I have oceanfront property to sell you in Detroit, Michigan. It's right off an island that's called Bell. Don't ask me which ocean it's connected to. Just purchase the property first, and we'll discuss that later.
So wait. You think Coach Cutcliffe had no bearings onto why that team wasn't playing up to? Okay,
he did. But
there was going to be no more show.
He didn't have a what were they Cutcliffe's last year? 4-8.
Yeah.
He didn't have that much of a difference on that team. The Coastal was atrocious. They were a different level of bad last year. Like, very seriously, outside of Duke and North Carolina, name me one team that you feel like you could drop them off in another conference and they would win more than 4 games. Any Power 5 conference that you feel like that team will win more than 4 games.
Not in Pitt.
You're sure about that?
Yeah.
You're sure?
With Keaton Slovis.
If Pitt went up to the Big Ten, they would have to see their basically twin them identical match in Iowa and Wisconsin and teams like that can't move the ball either, but they have defenses, which a lot of these.
But so does Pitt. So did Pitt. Come on, what are we doing? Sarazia Dennis, Kalaji Kenzie. Come on, what are we doing? Habakkuk, what my man with the scripture name? Come on.
Again, at the end of the day, this is a team that ran across a very easy schedule, and they took advantage of it. Okay. I'm not knocking Duke for taking advantage. You can only play who's in front of you, and Duke whooped the wheels off 9 teams that was in front of them. I give them their props. I give them their credit. I gave up the money. I give them their props. Shout out to you, Duke.
That complete sentence, and that's what it is. All I'm saying is, where do you stand when it comes to this team this year? 9 wins attainable? Just before we even go to the schedule.
No, 9
wins. That was a fluke.
Yes.
Last season was a fluke.
Yes. And not only
I want to make sure I get the hottest take possible.
But wait. Mm-hmm. Not only was 9 seasons a fluke, the ACC went out of their way to prove that, which I don't think is fair to do. Mm-hmm. Duke's schedule, Mac Brown was the one complaining, but if anybody in the triangle had reason to be calling and complaining, if I was Elko, I'd be on the line yesterday. Excuse me. Y'all need to fix this. I don't know what y'all got going on down there, but this ain't our schedule. This is somebody else's schedule. Y'all go ahead and fix this right away because their schedule is a bloodbath.
I think everyone still treats Duke like a gimme program. Like this is a gimme dub. And I think that's where people are going to be sorely mistaken once again. I think Duke doesn't automatically go into this season feeling like 9 wins is attainable as it's going to be easy as pie. But I definitely feel like it has a boost of confidence that those guys did not have before. This is not just a dump place where you go get a great degree and you go about your way. This is a place where you see guys. You've always seen Cutcliffe definitely got guys in the NFL, but even more so now, people are turning their heads about Duke to see if it's real. So this is a see if it's real year. Kind of reminds me of Coach Forbes when he got to Wake Forest and we had one to see for basketball to see if it's real. I think this is a let me see if it's real type of year for Duke.
Again, I agree, but it's just not fair to Duke. This schedule is not fair to Duke. It's legitimately not.
Well, hell, Miami basketball schedule last year wasn't fair to them, but they still had to play who they had to play, and everyone said it was going to be a fluke, and they ended up going to the Final Four. Maybe Duke will make a video for Players Tribune. Don't bet on us. Don't believe in us.
Hey, listen, more power to them. More power to them. I hope that they make that video, and I hope everything goes well for them. Yeah. But I am telling you right now, if you expect 9 wins out of this team, I'll say this, it is in the realm of possibility because they got 9 including their bowl game last year. Can they get 9 including the bowl game this year? Yes. 9 including the bowl game is possible if everything goes perfect. If you will listen to what I'm saying, if everything goes perfect, it is attainable. Will it happen? No, it won't happen.
I want you to stick beside your take.
I need you to listen to me.
Say it with a full bird chest, okay?
Let me puff out my chest because maybe that'll help you understand me more. Mm-hmm. Okay. I am saying that if everything goes perfectly for Duke and some of the other teams suffer similar misfortunes and bad seasons to the ones last year, they could possibly, it is a feasible possible world where they get 8 wins regular season and a bowl win.
Kenton, that is an amazing season. That's terrible. It's the fact that you can't even give these boys credit of going out there and putting their hands to turf and saying hands in grass really that they are able to go up against the best of them and win. That's terrible.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not. What are we?
Okay.
What are we doing here?
What? Okay. I just want everyone to hear it clear. Hear clear what the sides are.
Am I?
Cool.
Am I?
No.
I feel like I'm in bizarre world right now because you're telling me.
How do you watch that? You didn't watch. That's what that tells me. You didn't watch.
Okay. I didn't watch. Okay. So you're telling me that a team that lost to Georgia Tech, I'm supposed to believe like this is a serious programming team.
North Carolina lost to Georgia Tech and then went to the ACC championship. So what do we say?
And what did I say about North Carolina all last year? What did I say about them all last year? Fraudulent. I said they were fraudulent all last year. When everybody said, "Oh, this game could be close," I said, "Close to what?"
What did NC State losing to Boston College mean?
NC State losing to Boston College means they were also fraudulent, but they were also on quarterback number 4 of the year. I'm sorry, number 3 of the year at that point. They were on quarterback number 3 when they lost to Boston College. So, again, you like to do this stuff and you like to get me all riled up as if I don't give all of these teams the caveat of barring catastrophic injury. If you're on your 3rd quarterback, catastrophic injury has happened.
It could rain tomorrow for all we know. Like you can paint a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Who said that?
Andre 3000.
Okay.
And as I always say, again, if barring catastrophic injury, this team will be this or that. I am telling you right now. Again, I've said for every team, if everything goes right for them, they can end up here. For Florida State, did I not say if everything goes right, that's a playoff team?
That's not the point. I want you to stand on it.
I'm standing on it. I'm very much so standing on it.
Okay.
I'm telling you this right now. Watch this. Again, if you see their schedule and you see a majority of those teams have 5 or more wins and they end up getting 9 wins, I will eat my words happily. I will eat my words as happily as I've ever seen.
But here's the thing. Like at the end of the day, like you already just said, you can only play who's in front of you. Everyone has something going on. Everyone has injuries. Everyone's dealing with something. So you can't take that away from Duke and acting as if Duke had the perfect season. They had everyone healthy. They had all the things in front of them, and they just happened to beat some really crappy teams and on their road to 9 wins. Like, what are we doing?
If we look down the list of teams that they beat.
Can you take a break? Because I gotta take a break. I gotta take a break.
Go ahead. Because
I'm looking for a delicious snack,
like
but don't want all the sugar and calories. Then you need to try the best protein bar ever. Built. You gotta try this. If you're like me and you want to make healthier snack choices, but you don't want to compromise on taste, I've got just the thing for you. Built bars and Built Puffs are healthy and taste amazing. Seriously, they taste so amazing that you think they're good for you. You got to try that. You won't think that they're good for you. They're 100% real dark chocolate. That's right. Real chocolate. You come in churro, peanut butter brownie, and cookies and cream. I'm not sure how Built does it, but these bars taste like a candy bar while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better is they are healthy. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. Right now, you can go to your local Walmart or Sam's Club while you can get your specialty flavors all at Built.com if you so choose. So you got Sam's Club, Walmart, or Built.com to get your delicious treats of Built bars today. Whew. Well, this is not a show for y'all. See how Duke really just gets Kenton riled up, and we ain't even got to the schedule yet.
It's not Duke getting me riled up.
No,
it's you not living in reality that's got me riled up.
They won 9 games. The reality is they won 9 games, and I got my money. So
and that's fine.
And
that's fine. But again,
here we go with the schedule. You ready? I don't want to hear again. And what you about to say is repetitive of what we already know.
Again, I'm not.
Here you go.
I like
here
to live
again.
in reality.
You said again 2 times in 10 seconds. Stop it.
Because I like to live in reality, and certain people don't on this show. But let's keep it rolling.
My non-living in reality got me paid, so I'm chilling.
Hey, more power to you.
Shout out to fans of FanDuel.com/Kenton.
As the old saying goes, some people like to start on third base and think they hit a home run. And that's objectively what's happened here. It's objectively what happened.
How did I start on third base? Okay.
The season, again, things that were out of Duke's control.
And on September 4th, here we go with the schedule because we're not living in the past.
Mm-hmm.
All we can do
Let's
is
do
focus
it.
on
Let's
what's
look forward to
ahead
the
of
future.
us.
Absolutely.
Because when they get 8 or 9 this season, I don't want to hear a mother loving.
We could triple it. We could triple it on them getting 9 this year.
Nah, I think you need to slow your paper.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. So
all right.
Just go double or nothing.
All right. We can do that.
We can go.
Absolutely.
First of all, we're going double or nothing. If you will let me get to the schedule, since you want to talk back today, since we always talk about talking back.
Let's do it.
We're not living in the past. We focus on the right now.
Let's talk about it.
How many times you have to cut me off? Can I say it, or are you going to keep talking? Thank you so much. On September 4th, we have Clemson facing off against Duke on a Monday night. It's a long Labor Day weekend. The Tigers are coming off energy of feeling like they are not only the ACC champions, but everyone is just in their way on their road to the next one. Will Duke be that team that's able to upset them?
I don't think Duke pulls off the upset here. Again, I see this as a situation where Duke just doesn't have the same caliber athlete per se. And the hope for Duke here, the hope for Duke here would be that, they could catch Clemson by surprise in this game. And the interesting thing about that would be if you catch the best team in the conference by surprise, guess what happens for the rest of the season? You don't sneak up on anybody else.
Well, if everyone is healthy in the first game and they win, what is the prediction of that? And they win.
Again,
are they actually a good team or still unbelievable?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
If Duke pulls off a win in game 1, and again,
don't end again me.
Sure. If Duke pulls off a win in first game, they're a great team, regardless of what happens. Even if none of Clemson can show up and they somehow get a victory from forfeit, makes them a good team.
It's just like you need to get that Duke hate out your heart. Like, why?
I don't have Duke hate in my heart. I have hate for delusion of content.
Can I get my sentence out? Can I get my sentence out?
Go ahead.
Why is it every time I bring up something positive about Duke, you gotta jump down my throat today? Oh my God. September 9th, they face off against Lafayette at home.
They should whoop the wheels off Lafayette.
Okay, great. See how easy that was. Then they face off against Northwestern.
They should whoop the wheels off Northwestern.
Starting out the season 2-1. Mm-hmm. September 23rd, they go to UConn, a team that has, vastly improved.
Mm-hmm. They haven't improved enough. Duke gets a win here.
Not proving it. It seemed like they would be equal competition according to your books.
Okay. All right. Again, see, this is let me relax because see, you like to get me riled up. You like to egg me on and then make me.
I ain't egging nothing on. You don't want to look at
because
crazy.
Nobody is saying that they're at the same level as UConn. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what if UConn was in the ACC, I don't believe that they would win but 1 or 2 games. I don't think that of Duke. I don't think that I'm not doing this with you. Go ahead with the schedule.
You have no faith in Satterfield and the boy. We've been fighting Satterfield for this entire last year.
Satterfield don't coach at UConn?
Don't do that.
What do you mean I don't have faith?
It's a joke. I'm just trying to get you to be more confused than you already are. It's a joke. Whoo! Boy, what a show today. September 30th. Coach Freeman and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Duke.
Yeah, no, Notre Dame is going to run through the ACC like some Tomb Raiders next year. This is not a game that Duke will win.
So Notre Dame's going to the college football playoffs?
I don't know about that, but I think that they're going to run through the ACC without much resistance.
Then Duke has a nice little bye week, and then they come off against some ACC competition. They'll be the first since Clemson will be at home against NC State, which we haven't seen the NC State Duke matchup in quite some time. Something that Doran has been, pushing for and is excited to see, I think, return.
Yeah, for sure. I think that this is going to be a really interesting game, and I feel like it'll be a measuring stick for both teams. See how I put them on the level with a team that I think is fairly good, and I'm saying, hey, this will be a measuring stick game.
Crazy concept.
I think this will be a measuring stick game for both teams. Again, Duke is returning a ton of talent. Like Duke is objectively returning a ton of talent, a ton of production, a ton of players who played a ton of snaps last year. So with that being said, this game, I would say, goes Duke's way in a close one.
I agree. I think Riley Leonard has certainly proven himself to be a very quality, consistent quarterback. Reminds me of Sam Hartman in terms of consistency. And now especially with his growth, specifically Riley Leonard, is his minimal turnovers and just the way he executes. I think it's definitely something that is going to turn heads this season as he progresses a year wiser and a year under his belt. I think that, you got guys like Jordan Moore, who are going to be at the receiving core. You got Haggins, who's also going to be a real essential, and Pancall, who are going to be essential for, Duke's offense to figure things out. But that defense, the return of Dwayne Carter, you got RJ Oben, who is young, ready to go. I think it's going to be really critical for Duke to impose their will on an in-state powerhouse if they want to keep those in-state recruiting type tactics going.
I mean, sure. That's a game that I feel like a game like that goes a long way into adding into Duke's credibility, because I know that I'm not the only person that's like, first, it's unfair to say, oh, well, if you lose to Clemson, you're not a good team. That's not necessarily, if you lose to Notre Dame and Clemson, you're not a good team. But a game against an NC State team that is about neck and neck with y'all, maybe behind, maybe slightly ahead, depending on who you ask, that's a game where, again, this is for both teams, a measuring stick. Who's going to come out on top? Who comes out on top in that game will definitely shape some opinions about both teams' seasons going forward, unless one or the other just takes off or completely falls off the face of the earth afterwards.
A battle of the state, if you will. On October 21st, Florida State will face off against Duke. It'll be at Tallahassee. Hate it for Duke. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, they don't walk out of the dope with a W.
October 28th at Louisville.
Louisville is such a wild card. They're such a wild card. New coach. They lost darn near everybody. I see Duke coming away with a win in this one.
I don't know. I feel like Louisville is arguably the team that Duke was last year, in the sense that they were one good coach away from actually being a pretty decent program. So can, a coach who's familiar with Louisville and knows the ways and the lands and all the things, can he give them that extra push?
I get that. I understand where you're coming from in that regard. But to me, replacing 8 starters offensively is never, you got to have something special cooking, something real special cooking.
But up against a Duke team, it could be spicy.
For sure. I mean, I don't think that Duke blows out Louisville here. I think that this is a hard fought game that Duke comes out on top in.
Okay, you real short now. On November 2nd, Wake Forest, a little homecoming action. Love to see it. Mm-hmm. Battle of the State.
This is another game that I think
Battle of the Nerds. It's a nerd bowl.
Yeah, I was just about to say these are not just the Battle of the State. These are the Battle of the Nerds here, and I think in the Revenge of the Nerds game, I think that Duke at home, they say it gives you a 3-point advantage. I think they come out on top here and get a little bit of momentum rolling.
I think having a veteran quarterback will definitely help them in this specific matchup.
For sure.
November 11th, they go to North Carolina, rivalry game. Last year was definitely a nail biter. It came down to a couple plays. Riley Leonard versus Drake May, must-see TV, get your popcorn ready type event. It's going to be hard to win in Chapel Hill, but not impossible.
Don't they play for like the Liberty Bell or something along those lines?
Mm-hmm.
The Bell stays in Chapel Hill. North Carolina doesn't lose this game.
You got a lot of faith in North Carolina this season. We'll talk about it later. All right, November 18th at Virginia. What is this Virginia team going to be this year?
I think they're going to be horrible again, and I think Elliott's probably let go of after this game. Duke gets a win here.
Can't wait to go Virginia schedule here in a couple weeks. My Lord. All right, final game for Duke will be at home against Pitt. It's always a crazy game against Pitt. I ain't seen the last 3 to 4 where it ain't been head scratching. How did we get here? And yet, here we are type of vibe.
And that is the reason. Everything in me says you should pick Duke to win this game. Everything in me says Duke will be the better team throughout the season. And yet there is something in me that says, yeah, Pitt's still going to come away with the win here.
So that only gives you about 6 wins for Duke, regular season wins.
Yeah, I think that's about where they'll end up. I think they'll end up about 6-6, win a bowl game 7-6. I think that's reasonable for them.
I think they'll win 7 and they'll win a bowl game and make it 8.
I mean, that's possible. That's possible. 8 wouldn't be super surprising because 8 means that they pulled off one upset in these games. That I'm like, or they take care of a Pitt team that they should take care of. So that's definitely possible.
Well, listen, this is an upgrade for you because you said they wouldn't even win 6 last year. So I'm just, have we turned the corner? Are we a believer? Help us, Father.
I hold opinions until I'm presented with new facts or information. Blase.
This Duke team, have a take, stand on it.
This Duke team showed me that there were, and here's the thing, okay? There's a fun thing in the world called nuance, right? Where like you could say, hey, Duke was a good team last year and they benefited from everybody that they played being really bad. Like it's not like Duke was terrible. They just had a bunch of bad teams play. No, Duke was a good team that benefited from teams having unfortunate circumstances. Those are, that's the break.
So Duke just caught everybody slipping.
I feel like I'm in bizarro world. I'm saying words, but they're just like, it's I don't know how the headphones aren't keeping the words in. Duke was a good team last year.
But they caught people slipping.
They also caught a lot of teams in a down year or through an injury-riddled part of their season. 2 things happening at once, friends. 2.
Well, so everyone must have an off season again this year for Duke to have a really good season.
For 9 wins, yes. Yeah, for 9 wins, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
There will have to be some teams who are significantly worse than they're expected to be.
Interesting. So throughout the record books, Duke has no chance to be an ACC championship.
Again, if everything goes right, anything is possible. Everybody's got a puncher's chance, all that good stuff. I wouldn't bet my house on it.
What are you betting this season and how many wins?
Let's go back on the 9. Let's go back on the 9.
Why would we go 9 when we know that's not feasible?
Well, wait a minute now. Hold on now. You just told me how crazy
I read the schedule and said what the wins were going to be.
No.
First of all, pipe down. The bet for last year was 6 wins. I said they were easily going to a bowl game, which I have full confidence in. I think they're going to get 8 wins. That's what I said. I'm not going 9 because I'm not crazy. I said 7 in a bowl game makes 8.
7 in a bowl game makes 8. 7 in a bowl game is possible for them. I don't feel comfortable betting against 7 in a bowl game. I don't feel comfortable because I predict them to get 7.
8 in a bowl game.
Oh,
you put money on that.
So 8 and they win a bowl game? So you think they do win 9?
Why not?
Let's do it. Double or nothing. Let's do it.
But 8 regular season wins in a bowl game.
For sure. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Can't wait.
Cannot wait. Geeked up about it.
Y'all heard it here first. All that hooting and hollering and yelling just to come to this one consensus. Ain't that beautiful?
Yeah, I'm glad that we came to this consensus. I'm super excited about it.
Well, if you want to hear more about our bets, we have a couple more teams we got to get through, a few schedules we need to break down. And of course, if you felt like your team is going to win against Duke or lose against Duke, please leave us some comments. Let us know where we were off at. Maybe we were on. All that to say, it's exciting times for football. Kenton is clearly very passionate, and I'll learn some better analogies and phrases, and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling for y'all. But if you want to listen to any of these schools specifically or any other shows here on our network, you can listen to Locked On Podcast Network, wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as our YouTube channels. Final thoughts before we go, Mr. Gibbs? Or are you good to go?
I will say again.
Don't again me. Don't again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Furthermore, for the Duke fans listening and for Miss Cooper, let me reiterate this one more time because I know that fan is short for fanatic, and sometimes we have a tough time hearing. So for Miss Cooper and any other Duke fans out there, Duke last year was a good team. They were a good team. They were a good team. Okay? All righty. I don't want anybody saying, oh, Ken said that they're terrible and just ran into a bunch of really terrible teams.
You said that 10 times. Don't try to clean it up now. And also, ain't nobody listening to this far of the show, so it is what it is. All right, for Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs. Until next time.